Imagine you're on a car trip. You stop and have a quick lunch that you've packed for yourself. Maybe you accidentally forget some trash on the ground as you leave and continue on your trip. Those things that you left? Maybe a cigarette butt, a candy wrapper with some melted chocolate on it, a plastic spoon. You see, the fox, rabbits, raccoons, and any other animals that may find these things have absolutely no idea what any of it is. The raccoon may try to eat some of the chocolate off of the wrapper. A bird may try to use the fibers from the cigarette butt for their nest. These things are completely alien to the creatures in the meadow you stop to have lunch in. What if aliens came to Earth and left things for us? Things we may not be able to use, and some things we may be able to use. Some things that are so utterly bizarre to us that all we have to do is look at them and just go crazy wondering what they are. What if aliens had a roadside picnic on Earth, just as we have one on our drive through the meadow? So Stalker 2 is out, and I'm having fun with it. I wanted to talk a little bit about the novella that highly inspired it called Roadside Picnic. The story follows a man named Red Shoehart, a brave individual who goes into the zone near his fictional town named Harmont. Where Harmont exactly is left pretty vague. Some people think it's Canada. What matters most, though, is the zone just outside of Harmont, one of 6 left by the visitors 10 years back. Red is what is known as a stalker. He goes into the zone, which is heavily controlled by United Nations military presence and an organization called the Institute. Red, trying to clean up his act, works for the Institute, but falls back into his old habits of being a stalker. A stalker is a person who braves the zone and understands the danger of it all. With a few stints in jail for being caught selling the artifacts he finds in the zone, he uses that money to help his loving wife and child, slowly turning into a monkey-like creature thanks to the zone mutating Red's genetics. He decides to brave the zone one last time. It's one last job for him. He wants what's known as the Golden Sphere, an artifact that grants the true wishes of the person holding it. I won't spoil the ending, but it's a mixed emotional bag. The Stalker Games series, along with the book and game series Metro 2033, is heavily influenced by Roadside Picnic. The game is called Stalker, and Red is a stalker himself. In the game, there's only one zone. It's called the Zone of Alienation, but also just called the Zone. Whereas in Roadside Picnic, there are 6 zones, but the one near Red's house near Harmont is just called the Zone. In the book, the zone is locked down by a heavy military presence, as is in the game Stalker. The book has a more legitimate science research collaboration through the Institute, which, interestingly, is what's inspired Fallout 4's group by the same name. Stalker does have research, but it's not as controlling as Roadside Picnic. Stalker and Roadside Picnic also share many hazards within the zone. The book has fire, which Stalker refers to as burners and comets, basically spontaneously combusting, somewhat sentient bouts of flame that can ruin your day. Springboards, and eerie turbulence of air that can knock you on your feet. That's in the game, but in the book, they may be either shimmers or jolly ghosts. Fruit punch in Stalker is witch's jelly from Roadside Picnic, which is a corrosive, unknown goop that has the glow as if it's on fire and will totally melt your legs off. There's plenty more, but you get the idea. The zone in Roadside Picnic definitely inspires the zone in Stalker. Same with the artifacts found in both the book and in the game. The spring found in the first Stalker game is what the book calls an empty. 2 copper discs with about a foot of empty space between them, with nothing seemingly holding them together. Crystal thorns and stalkers have a similar effect to itchers in the book, and the electro batteries found in Chernobyl are very similar to the batteries found in the zone near Red's house. I won't go into every similarity, but you get the idea. Fun fact, in Metro 2033, you see a small cutscene where someone finds the book Roadside Picnic and calls it, "Hey, this is something familiar." The characters in the game Metro 2033 are also called stalkers. This 1972 publication is 224 pages, and it's a quick read or listen, but it does have a jumping timeline which may confuse a few at first, but you'll figure it out. This book is very much open to interpretation. At least the ending is. I would say most of the book is. It has a lot of unanswered questions. I wouldn't call it a character-driven plot, even though we closely follow Red. I want to call it a setting-driven plot. Red means nothing in the zone. He's just a human in the zone. He's nothing special. The zone is the be-all and end-all for humanity. But maybe, just maybe, the zone can make everything right for Red and the rest of the whole world. I say give it a read. Link to it is below, and no, we're not sponsored. Game on.